Hey folks, Levi here once again. Well, welcome back to another superhero review. Sorry, my chest is hurting a little bit. Welcome back to another superhero review. I hope you enjoyed my review of Justice League vs Teen Titans. I know it was back on Saturday. I'm sorry, I just took a break on a Sunday, and I've been working all this week. So yeah, but next week I do work next weekend, but I do get 2 weekdays off. Hopefully I get actually Monday off, so I might be doing some reviews this weekend, including on Monday, maybe one on Monday. But anyway. If you know, guys, membership my YouTube channel. Thank you for the 204 sub, guys. I appreciate it. Remember, Levi McNally 983 is a new channel, and with the mass profile picture. This is my new YouTube channel. Stay subscribed to this channel. Do not sub to the Batman one, Master of the Phantasm one. Now you can watch videos on that channel, but don't subscribe to it, okay? Yeah, yeah. Just letting you know. And what I've been doing, guys, uh, I've been doing what I call I've been doing a superhero marathon on my YouTube channel. Reviewing superhero movies, talking about some super TV shows as well. Not on this channel, but on the other channel, basically. Over that channel, I lost the count on that channel. But anyway, uh, I've been doing what I call the 2010s era superhero reviews. These are superhero movies that came out in the 2010 decades and 2010 to 2019. Again, 2010 to 2019. And I'm now in the year 2016. I think I've reviewed about 3 movies so far. Yeah, or 2 so far. But anyway, this one is another revisit review. This is the 13th MCU movie and the third film in the Captain America trilogy, uh, with a big cast starring Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, Don Cheadle, Jeremy Renner, the late Chadwick Boseman, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, Daniel Braun. I can't say the name right, but that is Captain America: Civil War. Previous review, yes, yeah, previous review. I and to be honest, I love this movie. This movie was really good. I still say The Winter Soldier was better in my opinion. That still to me is an amazing movie. Still one of the best superhero films out there. This is definitely one of the best MCU movies out there. One of the best Marvel films, and also one of the best superhero movies too. Yeah, it's another yet amazing movie. The Russell brothers did a great job. We got Black Panther in this movie, played by the late Chadwick Boseman, and we also got, Tom Holland. We got Spider Man. Now I do like Tom in this movie. Sometimes he may be a little annoying. I still say I miss Andrew. Andrew is still my favorite live action Spider Man. But I get why the MC brought him in because we didn't need a new Spider Man movie because we already had 2 Spider Man films from 2002 and then the Amazing Spider Man with a reboot story. Not a reboot story, but not a origin story. We didn't need that. We already had 2 movie origins, so I guess I think it was a good day for Marvel to introduce just Spider Man and to bring Black Panther into the franchise as well. You know, yeah, really a good movie from start to finish. Is it completely perfect? No, it has its problems. But despite that, it's still entertaining, and I still say Winter Soldier is my favorite. I do like it more than the first Avenger, but it's still a really good movie in my opinion. A great movie. Uh, one of the MCU's best. One of the best of the franchise, in my opinion. But anyway, let's get into it, shall we? Like I said, the film was directed by Anthony Joe Russo, who previously directed Winter Soldier and I believe Age of Ultron. He also directed this one, but let's get into the history of the movie. This is the Civil War of the cinematic universe, which will be greatly inspired by the Civil War of the comic universe. But we have a very different continuity going on. It's not about the secret identity thing as much as about overall who reports to it, who can agree on oversight committee. Because of now in Age of Ultron, there is no more Security Council, there is no Shield. Obviously, Stark is playing for the Avengers Cap. Captain America is running it. And things occur that will make governments begin to question. Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, says. In March 2014, Anthony Joe Russo confirmed that they had signed on to return as directors for a third Captain America film, along with Chris Evans as Captain America and Kevin Feige as producer. Christopher Ferguson, Stephen McFeely come back as screenwriters. Martin McFeely had been working on the screenplay since late 2013. The Russo brothers began working in February 2014. They rehiring the director 3 months before the release of Captain America: The Winter Soldier came as a result of Marvel executives being impressed with test screenings of that film. Earned about $15 million for the film. In April 2014 interview, Joe Russo described the project as a continuation of the story from the Captain America: Winter Soldier. What's nice about the film is that it's a two-parter. There's a journey that the Winter Soldier goes on that isn't complete yet. That month, Marvel announced a release date of May 6, 2016. Trent Oblish, who was the cinematographer on The Winter Soldier, said he would return for the sequel. In July, Marcus and McFeely said that they were midway through a first draft of the film. Christopher Darby was beginning to expect in April 2015. The following month, they stated that they were looking to make a ton of the film for the first Avenger and the Winter Soldier, with the Russos likely to psychological thriller, citing Seven, Fargo, and The Godfather as influences, along with westerns and Brian De Palma's films. The Russos also stated that a good portion of Civil War is actually funnier than Winter Soldier, with a more comedic tone and lighter moments throughout. In August 2014, the Russos stated that the film would be set a couple of years after the Winter Soldier and would continue to focus on Steve Rogers' relationship with Bucky Barnes, as well as the political themes related to Captain America. Anthony stated that the character was invented for political purpose, so it's hard to get away from that nature. The Russos also said that they would be bringing some new elements to the table that would give us a twist on the Winter Soldier, and indicated the filming was scheduled to begin in Atlanta, Georgia. They described themselves as rustic with a first draft of the screenplay submitted by Marcus McFly, and also said that the film's title will be announced in a month or so at most. The concept and the title for the film came from Feige, who had it for a while. In September, Joe expanded by saying the film would have another big idea that alters the universe as a whole in some way, similar to S.H.I.E.L.D. Following the Winter Soldier, the rest of the film, such as the character story and tone, would be left open to the Russos and writers. By October 2014, Robert Downey Jr. had entered negotiations to respire his role as Tony Stark Iron Man in the film. Downey was added in order for the film to adapt the 2006 Civil War comic book storyline, written by Mark Miller, which pitted Iron Man against Captain America. At the end of the month, it's reported that Sebastian Stan will return as Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier. A few days later, Marvel revealed that the film will be titled, hope I'm not going too fast here, will be titled Captain America Civil War, confirming Downey's appearance and announced that Chadwick Boseman will appear as the film, as Black Panther, ahead of his own solo film. Feige also confirmed that the film would be first in the MCU's Phase 3 set of three films. Sorry. Anthony Russo said that adapting the Civil War storyline was not always intended. But yeah, this is Phase 3 Marvel. This might be the start of it. So we're going to start Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With the British Tis assigned to return as directors. Artists expanded on this, saying the original concept for a third Captain America film never got to draft. Feige at some point telling the writer team to begin adapting Civil War around the original ideas. Fleetwood said that despite the shift in the direction of the film, the theme, even though they said Zemo was operating as from that early on, the Russos wrote that the head negotiations with Downey appeal on the film failed. They would have used the Mad Bomb storyline from the Captain America comics, which was eventually used as a plot point for a season of the Carter TV series, which I don't care for that TV series, but that's just me, and I'm not a fan of Haley Atwell. The premise for the film would have centered on Zemo detonating the Mad Bomb, which would turn hordes of people into briskers to present a physical threat to Captain America, while still pitting heroes against each other. Some be zombified to the Mad Bomb. McFly said the idea of being Mr. Civil War had been on and off the table for a while, and Marvel Studios explaining, it's a challenge to do it. Make sure all the characters we have established and everyone's established the MCU are served and sound correct. Because there's a difference between the character in Civil War, which was written by 2006. 2007, the MCU doesn't exist, which is when it's written. There is a Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans who still create the character, so we need to make sure that the template gets adjusted. Joe Russo added that the instance of Civil War was used such as the concept of registration, the notion that heroes need to be either monitored or controlled because the powers can be scary. Anthony Russo expanded in a lot of ways. On a political issue, and we didn't want the conflict of the movie to solely exist on that level. We wanted to figure out very personal reasons why everyone's relationship to this idea is going to become complicated. That's why the relationship between Steve and Bucky allowed us to give very personal terms of why people would lean on one over another. Executive producer Nate Moore added that it felt like it was kind of the right time to adapt Civil War, given the Avengers plus many of the Phase 2, Close the Door, World War Soldier, and Avengers Age of all dealt with world-ending experience. We felt like we had the next step in the story, which is what the world's reaction. Executives at Marvel Entertainment balked at the idea of Captain America and Iron Man coming to blows at the end of the film. They wanted the Avengers to unite to fight Zemo and the Super Soldiers at the Hydra base. Instead, the Russos were not happy with this idea. Joe was saying, there's nothing interesting about that film. We're not here to make that movie. We're not interested in telling another superhero story. The Russos were going to leave the film if changes were forced on them. This from Walt Disney Studios to have Alan F. Horn to back the Russos making the film as really intended, and led to oversight of Marvel Studios being moved from Marvel Entertainment to Walt Disney Studios 2015. November 2014, Daniel Bajot joined the cast in a role, while Anthony Mackie and Frank Grillo were confirmed to return as Sam Wilson, Falcon, and Brooke Roman, Crossbones, respectively. His character Brock was in Winter Soldier. following the November 2014 hacking of Sony Pictures. Emails between Sony Pictures chairman Amy Michelle and President DePiller related say that the Marvel wanted to include Spider-Man. I think I remember that when they got hacked. Yeah, whose films were licensed to Sony. But talks between the studios concerning this were believed to have broken down. However, in February 2015, Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios reached a license deal for the use of Spider-Man in an MCU film, and reports indicated that this character would indeed appear in Civil War. Now, even though he's in this movie, Sony, I believe, still to this day, they do own Spider-Man. They still own him. It's just they needed him to be in successful films. So, I guess Sony caved in and was like, okay, you can use the character, but we still own him. The Russo stated that they were lobbying in the months to include the character in the film. January 2015, Mackie revealed that additional Atlanta filming locations would be in Puerto Rico and Berlin. Russo further confirmed that Scarlett Johansson would return as Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff. Jeffrey Wright, who worked on The Winter Soldier, also signed for Civil War. He was an editor on the film. In March 2015, Jeremy Renner was revealed to be reprising his role as Clint Barton Hawkeye. The next month, it was revealed that the film would be in 3D. That Pearl will be playing Elizabeth Olsen revealed she would reprise her role in the film as Wanda Maximoff. Filming set for Captain America: Civil War. Is this in it? Oh, this is in downtown Atlanta. Principal photography began on April 27th, 2015, in Fayette County, Georgia, at Pinewood Atlanta Studios, under the working title Spunk. Other filming locations of Atlanta area included the Buckhead district of Atlanta, Peachtree Christian Church in Midtown Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, including all near Phillips Arena, known as the Clutch, served as the market. Norcross, Georgia, headquarters in Atlanta. Atlanta was served as the Avengers headquarters in the film, and the Atlanta Civic Center Laboratory. The Winter Soldier stuntmen were second unit directors. In early May, Marvel announced that Martin Freeman was cast in an unscripted role. Paul Bettany came back, and so did James Rhodes. And you, of course, have William Hurt coming back as Thunderbolt, as Ross. And Paul Rudd comes in this movie as Ant-Man. We already had his movie Ant-Man. Yeah. Nick Fury, yeah. Samuel Jackson appeared to Nick Fury in the two previous Captain America films. Said he was surprised to discover that he would not be in the Civil War. The rest of the told him that told him he was. Moore stated that the Fury was not included because he didn't add anything to the Civil War storyline that they were telling, which maybe makes sense. Sorry of me. You figure, Fury's on the run or just hiding, or maybe just retired. Well, not retired, just hiding in plain sight. They did not want to choose any particular side because there's not a place in the universe. Each of the characters ties to the plot. If you've seen the effects of the Winter Soldier, you know what happened to Fury. Or he just runs S.H.I.E.L.D. in secret. Joe Russo said that he and his brother had strong emotional connections, characters, as children as We want to reach into that understandable way. Normally, motivate you to love the character. That's why you're trying to bring out the characters now. After the other film's full cast, many outcasts outlets and fans began referring to the film as Avengers 2.5, as the somewhat nature of the cast, usually reserved for the Avengers film. And the fact that the film no longer felt like a Captain America movie as Winter Soldier, Feige said that what's fun about Civil War, though, is that from the comics, it's a very simple story. It really has to be. It's very much about a Captain America movie, and it's very much like a sequel to the Winter Soldier in many ways. I don't think people will expect. It's very structured that allows you to have these amazing character interactions in a way that I don't think become overwhelming. Feige also said that Hope Van Dyne was in the original draft of the film. After seeing the Wasp costume at the end, after she got her costume at the end of the Ant-Man, Evelyn Lilly, I can't say her name right, but it was cut because there are so many characters in Civil War. They didn't want to do her, but we do get her. We do get Wasp in the sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp in 2018. So there's so many characters in Civil War. We didn't want to do a diverse. Maybe it was just too many people to add in too much of a big. They didn't have big enough budget. Van Dyne in the Wasp costume for the first time. I see her dynamic with Scott will play out. At the end of May, the Russo brothers, along with Feige and Pascal, had a screen test in Atlanta for 6 teenagers. They're being offered the role of Peter Parker, with the actors testing against Downey and Evans for chemistry. Tom Holland was cast as the character in the next month to also appear in a solo film. The Russos were pretty vocal about who wanted for the part, pushing the cast as an actor close to the age of Peter Parker in the comics. But they believe Holland's age was one of the factors Sony was hesitant on Holland for the role. They also praised Holland for having a dancing and gymnastics background. Downey felt of all the actors he tested with, Holland brought in the confidence to be able to make in the mantle of portraying Spider-Man. At the time, Marvel did not confirm his involvement in Civil War due to being obligated not to talk about his conclusion publicly. The Russos discussed that this, saying that the business deals stemming from the sharing of the character rights. You know, Marvel didn't want to spoil anything. Holland was confirmed to appear in the film in July 2015. John Woods, chief director of Spider-Man: Homecoming, was on set of the filming for Spider-Man scenes. We'll see what they were going to do with it, and they informed what they originally took it, and provide ideas about this and that, such as Parker's wardrobe and bedroom should look like, to make sure all on the same page that Homecoming was theirs. Anthony Russo said that despite Marvel telling them to have a plan B, should the deal fail with Sony, the Russos never created one because it's very important to reintroduce Spider-Man in the film, adding, "We'll have advised this movie with Spider-Man." By the end of June, filming reached the halfway mark. Sorry, we're actually moving to Germany. Civil War was the first one to use IMAX's digital 2 cameras made in partnership. Mark Ruffalo, who plays Bruce Banner in the MCU film, said that his character was originally in the Civil War script, but was removed due to the end of Age of Ultron, as Marvel did not want to reveal where he is and why in this film. Marcus added that as soon as the Hulk joined his side, the fight would be quickly over, saying, "You got to kind of choose your roaster, depending on what kind of fight you want to have." Let's find that he having the Hulk appear at the very end of the film, but decided against it, knowing that it was overstuffed with the film with characters adding. Though Haley going somewhere at the end of Age of Ultron, of course. If you remember him being the ship and talking about Widow and shutting her off and flying off the ship, going on another planet. Ross' alter ego Red Hulk was also considered for it, but the Russos felt the part of the character would need a proper backstory, which they already had a crowded film. They felt that Ross, their sort of government's agency, complicated superpowered characters to the mix. That November, Joe Russo, Spider-Man's Iron Spider-Man suit was also considered. Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit was considered, but that we didn't get that until I think Avengers: Infinity War. So that November, Joe Russo stated that the theme of the film was betrayal, calling it extremely emotional. The film hinges on that emotion, very personal level. We didn't want it to become about politics and people arguing about that. The third act is built around a very personal moment between Captain America and Iron Man. The Russos spent a great deal of time to ensure each other's emotional arc tracked through the entire film. Though at least at some point you have to have logic for that. Visual effects. Nearly 20 visual effects studios worked on Captain America. That includes Industrial Light and Magic, Method Studios, Lemon Pictures, Imagine Engine. Dan Jr. seen that voted younger hologram version of himself. That was CGI, of course. Method Studios worked on 440 shots. They're responsible for the helicopter sequence in the middle of the film and the climactic fight between Iron Man, Bucky, and Captain America. The original template for the helicopter sequence was placed in the scene next to the Paul Oaks design. And the music score, Henry Jackman returned from research to score the sequel and for the marketing of the movie. Of course, they had toys out for the movie. They had commercials with Kid and Iron Man or carrying Captain America's shield, Captain America Civil War playsets. Yeah, they had toys. You had like, uh, you know, even a kid being Spider-Man, so they had Spider-Man toys. I do think I remember the toys out for this movie being crazy. Yeah, it was quite a bit of marketing for the film. Pizza Hut got involved in doing the movie. Yeah, can't see this picture. Well, you probably can't, but Pizza Hut marketed the film as well. They helped market it. You had a Captain America and Iron Man Pizza Hut box here. Yeah, and I do remember. Let's see, do a picture? Yeah, if you went to the movie theater, then they had also Coca-Cola cans for the characters. I think, even though Hulk, I think he's on cocaine, he's not in the movie at all. Mark Ruffalo is not in this film. But anyway, I do think Ant Man had a. It was a Coca-Cola commercial with Hulk and Ant Man with Hulk running, Hulk like catching a Coke can and Ant Man opening it for him, and Hulk drinking it. AMC, I remember they had this popcorn cup. I don't remember if I got popcorn, but I do remember getting a drink. I do remember, with the theater, they have all their stuff like the popcorn buckets and the drinks at the at the AMC theater. They had the characters and stuff, pictures of the characters, which is really neat. Yeah, you'd have yourself a Captain America Civil War drink cup. I do remember that with Iron Man. Fighting against Captain America's shield. And I remember this movie being such a big deal. I remember I saw this film back in 2016, and man, let me tell you, Iron Man 3 was a bigger line, but so was. Thankfully, I got there early. If you're ever going to see a Marvel movie, I don't know nowadays, but back in the 2010s, though, if you were going to go see a Marvel movie, you had to get there early because an AMC would be packed out. We got there, it was a big line, and more people came. The line was nearly outside. I remember there being a little kid that was dressed up as Captain America. Yeah, people wearing Captain America Iron Man shirts. So it was a big film. They called it the Big D Theater. It's like a huge IMAX theater where we saw the movie. So that was an awesome experience. And yeah, it was a heavily marketed film. But for the take that. Okay. But anyway, sorry. But for the cast of the movie, you have Chris Evans coming back as Steve Rogers, Captain America, the leader of the faction Avengers Against Regulation, World War II veteran who was intense to the peak of human frozen. He, of course, is a super soldier. Chris Evans, like I said, he's worked more before. He was Johnny Storm, the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four 2005, and the Secret Rocks Super Surfer. He voiced Casey Jones in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was in Scott Pilgrim Face of the World, Snowpiercer, The Gray Man, Knives Out. Um, yeah, the name of Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark Iron Man, the leader of Avengers in support of the Revelation. He's a self-described genius millionaire, piece of armor of his own invention. Yeah. Downey has you know, started out with the MCU. Sorry, I can barely freaking speak. Well, I know he played Charlie Chaplin once. He was in Back to School, Rodney Dangerfield, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Val Kilmer. He was in Tropic Thunder, which I didn't care for the course of that, but of course he gained recognition for Iron Man, playing Iron Man, the first Iron Man from 2008, which started this whole MCU franchise. If it wasn't for Robert and Jon Favreau making Iron Man and what it came, we would never had this movie like this. So Scarlett Johansson comes back as Natasha Romanoff. Scarlett Johansson. I remember her in movies like Home Alone 3, which I didn't like her in. She was in SpongeBob SquarePants. Doing the movie, doing voicing the Princess Mindy, and yeah, and Scarlett also voiced. I mean, not voiced. I can't even barely speak. Sorry. And the movie Eight-Legged Freaks, and of course Iron Man 2 was her first appearance as the character. She was in Iron Man 2, The Avengers, Avengers Age of Ultron, and this movie as well. And of course, we Spire the role again and Infinity War and Endgame, and of course had her own Black Widow movie, and I think in 2021, which that movie came a little too late in my opinion. I'm sorry guys for the quality of the video was going bad. It just does. It's good quality, then it just shifts out. Okay, now we're getting back to looking better. But yeah, but again, Scarlet is gorgeous once again and great. And you have Sebastian Stan come back as Bucky Barnes Winter Soldier. Of course, he started with Captain America: The First Avenger, then being with the Winter Soldier. You know, and then of course, the Falcon Winter Soldier, which I haven't seen. And I believe he was in Captain America, the new Captain America that came out this month, Brave New World, but coming back in a cameo. And he's going to be in Thunderbolts, which I'm not so sure about that, but that's just me. And of course, he came back. He had a small cameo in Black Panther and came back to Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah, and I haven't seen Falcon and Winter Soldier though. I need to. And Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson Falcon. He's an adventurer alive with Rogers, a former patient trained by the military, running a usually specially designed wing pack. Anthony Mackie was in a movie like 8 Mile, Eagle Eye, Pain and Gain, And he started with Marvel. His first appearance was in The Winter Soldier, and of course he went in to be in Infinity War, I believe, and Endgame. Yeah, and of course he's the new Captain America. Captain America: Brave New World. And Don Cheadle, James Rhodes, War Machine. Don Cheadle. I think I remember him in an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Reign Over Me with Adam Sandler. He was in that. Out of Sight with George Clooney. He was in that movie. And the Ocean's trilogy. And A Family Man with Nicolas Cage. Yeah. And of course he got the role. First, Rhodey was played in the MCU by Terrence Howard, but Terrence Howard got fired, I guess, from Marvel. Whatever the issues they had with him. So Don Cheadle's first appearance as Rhodey was in Iron Man 2. And of course, after this, he would be Infinity War and Endgame. And Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton Hawkeye, and Master Archer Live with Rogers, a retired Avenger and a SHIELD agent. He was in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, The Bourne Legacy, and started in these films. Actually, his first appearance was in Thor. It was a small cameo, but it was in Thor, then the Avengers, and then Avengers: Age of Ultron, this movie, and I believe he was in Infinity. No, he was not in Infinity War. No, he wasn't. Okay, but he did come back to be in Avengers Endgame and had a cameo in Black Widow. And of course, Hawkeye has his own TV show. And like Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa Black Widow, the prince of the African nation of Wakanda, who gains strength by encysting the heart-shaped orb that gives him vibranium and gives him his Black Panther suit. But Chadwick Boseman, I miss Chadwick. It's so sad that he died, but I think he somewhat got sick maybe after this movie. I don't know. I know he's done other films as well. But after this, he would go on to have his own movie, Black Panther, in 2018. And of course, being in Infinity War and Endgame, he'd be in that too. And sadly, those were his last movies before he passed. Yeah. Okay. Paul Bettany returns his vision, and Android and Avenger alive with Stark. He created using the artificial intelligence for Jarvis, Ultron, and the Mind Stone. Yeah, and we saw Vision and Age of Ultron. He's in this movie. Paul Bettany does voice Jarvis. He's been doing voice Jarvis, but he became the Vision character, and he comes back in Infinity War and Endgame. Elizabeth Olsen comes back as Wanda Maximoff. Now, I meant when I first saw her in Godzilla 2014, I thought she sucked. I thought she was just awful. I mean, not in Avengers. I'm talking about Godzilla 2014. I thought she sucked in that, but she grew on me, and she's a beautiful woman. She's beautiful, a good actress, and she did come back as the character in Endgame. I mean, not Endgame. After this was Infinity War and Endgame, and of course, WandaVision, which I still haven't seen. I still see that show, and Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, Ant-Man. A former electric engineer turned petty criminal, Elijah Rogers. Prior to see that allows him to shrink. And of course, Paul Rudd, has been in movies like 40-Year-Old Virgin, some comedies he's been in. Uh, Halloween, Chris Marker Myers, and Clueless were like in 1995. And the 40-Year Virgin knocked up I Love You Man, this is 40. And of course, starting out with Ant-Man, then he would reprise the role in Ant-Man and the Wasp, going to Ant-Man and the Wasp. After this, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then Avengers Endgame, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Ant-Man 3. Emily Van Camp comes by Sharon Carter. She played the character in First the Winter Soldier. She was part of here. Marisa Tomei as May Parker, Peter Parker's aunt. Rich Tomei, I remember her movies like Anger Management. She was in that with Adam Sandler. The Paper, Crazy Stupid Love, Parental Guidance, The Big Short, Wild Hogs. Yeah. But again, beautiful actress. She was just too young to play May, in my opinion. Just too damn gorgeous, which is a little awkward. Tom Holland as Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and Teenager Love Stark. Steve Spurlock abilities, Spider-Man, favorite Marvel character, but Tom Holland is the third actor to play Spidey in live action. first played by Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Yeah, Tom Holland. I can't think of any. I know he was in the Uncharted movie, but he would go on to be in Spider-Man: Homecoming, uh, Avengers: Infinity War, and Endgames as Spidey, and Far From Home and No Way Home. And I believe he's also getting a fourth Spider-Man movie. And Spider-Man: No Way Home, of course, if you've seen that movie, you know he's acted with because the multiverse when the Marvel got into that, acting with the two of the Spideys, that is Toby and Andrew. Yeah. Frank Grillo is Brock Rumloff, aka Crossbones, who was a former commander of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s counterterrorism strike, but he's really be an agent of Hydra. If you remember the first movie, a building fell on him, so he didn't die, but his face is really scarred badly. Martin Freeman is Eric K. Ross, a member of the CIA's Joint Center, and a character associated with Black Panther in the comics. Yeah, and he does come back. He does come back respiring that role, I believe, in Black Panther in 2018. And the late William Hurt is Ross, respiring the role from the Incredible Hulk. Yeah. But this time he's a secretary. William Hurt passed away back in 2022. But good actor, well, Lost in Space. But I didn't really like that movie too much. But he was great in Incredible Hulk. Always my favorite live action. I'm sure Harrison Ford will be good, but my favorite will always be him. He's perfect as Ross, and a lot better than Sam Elliott in my opinion. Daniel Bruhl as Helmut Zemo, a colonel turned terrorist who's obsessed with defeating the Avengers. Zemo goes by multiple names, but Daniel, I think he did all right. Hmm. John Stanley and Kerry Gordon responded to the roles as Howard Stark and the voice of Friday from previous MCU films. Hmm. All right, and that's the cast. Yes, it is an ensemble cast. It's directed by Anthony and Joe Russo once again, who directed Captain America: Winter Soldier, this movie, and they also directed Infinity War and Endgame. The screenplay is by Christopher Marcus. Yeah, they wrote the Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, Witch, of the Wardrobe, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Which again, I think those movies are overrated, but that's just me. But their first Marvel movie that they wrote was Captain America: The First Avenger, Thor: The Dark World, The Winter Soldier, this movie, Infinity War, and Endgame. Based on Captain America, written by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, produced by Kevin Feige. It was the president of Marvel Studios, and has been with these films since 2008. So, pretty much produced all the Marvel movies and the new ones. Cinematography by Trent Opelich. Can I say the name right? Sorry. But films like District 9, Elusive, The Winter Soldier, this movie, Infinity War, and Endgame, he also did cinematography on those films as well. Edited by Jeffrey Ford, Edward, Matthew Schmidt, who film edited The Winter Soldier and Infinity War and Endgame as well, and Black Widow and Thor: Love and Thunder says he worked on as well. And before Marvel, though, he edited films like assistant editor on films like The 13th Warrior, Perfect Murder, Contact, Collateral Damage. I believe that was with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Daredevil 2003. That's another MCU movie, Marvel movie. Well, before the MCU came, in the early days of Marvel. I Robot. Will Smith. That is not a Marvel movie. Uh, Avengers Endgame, Black Widow, Fate the Furious, Civil War, Thor: Love and Thunder, Captain America: The Brave New World. He edited that too. Music by Henry Jackman, who's done music scores for other superhero movies like Kick-Ass 1 and 2, X-Men First Class. I do like his music score. I like it a lot better here than uh, X-Men First Class, which is irritating with the noise. It's just too darn loud. But this music here is really good. And almost sad to listen to at times. Its production company is Marvel Studios, distributed by Walt Disney Pictures, Marvel Studios, and Motion Pictures. It was released May 6, 2016 here in the U.S. It's 147 minutes long. The budget was $250 million. At the box office, it made $1.155 million worldwide. So the film was a hit. It did get positive reviews from critics. Praised with performances by Evans and Downey, action sequences and themes, which it deserved. Oh, and it is the first film in Phase 3. Yeah, of Marvel. And anyway, okay. So about the plot synopsis, I know we're in 35 minutes in, but let me give you the plot synopsis of what the movie's about. And if you haven't seen Captain America: Civil War, stop watching this video right now, because there will be spoilers in this review. So I'm gonna talk about the whole film. Before I do that, the plot synopsis pretty much. Well, the story takes place a couple years after Winter Soldier, and I would say maybe a year later or something, or maybe something. I would say a year or so by a year after the events of Avengers: Age of Ultron, a couple years after Winter Soldier. Now that the political pressure mounts to the system of accountability, with the actions of the Avengers lead to collateral damage, they have a new status quo, deeply divides members of the team, which it becomes political. Are the Avengers doing good or damage? Some people think they're vigilantes, they need to be watched, kept in check. And Steven, Captain America and Iron Man, they disagree with each other on this. Meanwhile, the Captain America believes superheroes should remain free to defend humanity without government interference. And Iron Man probably disagrees and supports oversight. As the debate escalates into an all-out feud, Black Widow and Hawkeye must pick a side, and the debate becomes big, and pretty much Bucky gets involved, and Rogers chooses to break the law just to help his friend, and he tries to help Bucky. Meanwhile, we get the character T'Challa from, you know, who's from Wakanda, a Black Panther character, and the new Spider-Man coming in, and yet a feud begins between these two and between all superheroes, and one of the greatest battles in superhero movie history happens, and you find a spoiler alert between something Captain America knew, what Bucky as Winter Soldier knew, and so it begins a war between them in this movie. So that's why it's called Civil War. Yeah, but that's the plot for you. It's pretty much a simple thing. If you knew this movie and the poster, it will probably give you what the movie's going to be about. Them fighting each other. But like I said, there will be spoilers in here. There's more to it than that. Sorry. But the film is 2 hours and 28 minutes long. Hmm. Say about 100, yeah, 147 minutes. But it doesn't bore you. It won't bore you, trust me. It is also better than Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Why? Because this is the 13th Marvel movie. For them to fight each other, it took a while. The difference is, though, I cared. And I felt the emotion. I didn't feel no emotion at all with Batman vs. Superman. That was just boring to watch. Yeah. And a big mess of a movie. Even though I'm not watching the Ultimate Edition, but I got a feeling I'd rather just watch this over the Ultimate Edition of, Batman v. Batman v Superman, whatever that stupid title is. But I'm gonna talk about the movie itself, then maybe read some quotes. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So sorry. Okay, yeah, we're still on. We're still recording. Okay, sorry. Sorry, now my hair looks messed up. I hear it sometime. Anyway, the film opens up in 1991. Inside this Russian armed forces, we see the Winter Soldier. This is a time before Steve was even, you know, found in the ice, because that had to happen in some of the Avengers timeline. It probably had to happen in 2011 when he was found, or 2012 sometime. But anyway, this is way before that when Hydra, if you've seen the Winter Soldier, spoiler alert, after Bucky's fall from the first Avengers, the Hydra got hold of him. Dr. Solo, they took control of his mind, they turned him to the Winter Soldier. And spoiler alert, there's also other Winter Soldiers in here. Bucky wasn't the only one. They trigger wars to ensure they read this book and it ensures the Winter Soldier's loyalty. They order him to and execute these occupants. So he wrecks his car, and it'll, like I said, spoilers later coming. And then you open up in the present day where Captain America, Black Widow, Falcon, and Wanda Maximoff learn that Brock Romanoff. They plan to steal a biological chemical weapon from the Institute Diseases in Nigeria, so they're there just to help fight. Cap's watching, overseeing. Falcon's got this thing called Red Wing, which I liked. Wanda, and they're just talking. They see what's going on, and I love when Captain America jumps into action, fights some guy, uses his shield, and you know, and then you see Falcon fighting a little bit too, which is cool. And she's like, Wanda's like Sam, and she uses her his abilities and gives a kick, and he's able to kick him, and she's able to jump Steve there. Steve knocks these knocks these guys out, and this guy has become Crossbones, and he has to fight Crossbones. They get to his. I might figure this one time. He even gives puts a bomb on Captain America. Captain America's thrown away because to protect people when he hits Captain America, so they fight. Black Widow fights with Crossbones too, but he's able to knock her out nearly. Pushes the truck. You know, they fight. You know, and I like it when she's got these two guys. One guy's like, "Put the gun down now," and Red Wing like shoots a guy. She shoots a guy, and he's got the one with a chemical weapon in a bottle. Yeah, but she's able to shoot the Red Wing shoots the guy. She shoots the guy. She's able to grab it. He's like, and I said, "Thank you." To him. I was like, I'm not thinking that thing. Come on, think Red Wing. Come on, his name's Red Wing. But Captain America beats him, beats Crossbones, takes his mask off. He's like, well, at least my face was pretty or something like that. He's like, you Bucky, your friend. He mentioned, he's like, Bucky, he needs to distract for a minute. He's like, and I'm gonna take you with me. He's gonna blow himself up. But one day uses her powers and accidentally causes an explosion. I don't know how many casualties that happens. It kills several aid workers from Wakanda, and they're like watching TV. And Wanda feels bad for what happened. He's like, well, sometimes you can't control this job. Being heroes is not easy. Sometimes stuff just happens and you can't control it. And then you have Tony Stark, who's at MIT, demonstrates this technology that recreates old memories, like he had with his parents. You know, he didn't tell his dad that he loved him, and after that, they died in that car wreck. You know, and that was hard for Tony. He gets shaken though when it mentions Pepper Potts, which him and Pepper have broken up because he refused to be Iron Man. Or I guess the incident with Ultron, maybe she thinks that Tony should have stopped. But there was no Pepper in this movie. But we do see her again in Infinity War and Endgame. He gets confronted by a woman named Marin Sharp. Uh, her son was killed in the Battle of Ultron. It's like, you protect people, you avenge yourself. You're just doing it for yourself. My son from MIT, is like, and Tony thinks that she's pulling out a gun. He's like, sorry. And he thinks that after seeing that, they need to be kept in check. Even though I would say it's Ultron's fault, yeah. But after 1 month in the headquarters, the Avengers are visited by Stark and Thaddeus Ross, played again by the late William Hurt, who does a great job. Talking about golf, and he says that the Avengers need to be kept in check. That some of you did good, but some of you consider you vigilante, and all the damages that happen until they see, Nigeria, and then Steve says, "Okay, that's enough." Turns it off. He's like, "You're gonna sign this paper." They can't operate privately. To that end, it has been said the Avengers will sign the Soviet records that is approved by 117 countries. It will establish an international panel to control the Avengers' movements, as well as to monitor and police repeatedly growing number of individuals. And he says, "You got to sign this." He says, "If we don't, well, then you're going to be forced to retire if you don't." The team has to decide over the. Well, first of all, we meet Zemo, who was out for revenge. You find out almost as well that Zemo's out for revenge because his family was killed during the incident. So he's trying to find out what happened in February. I think it was in February, 1970, 1991. What happened? He's planning a revenge against the Avengers, and he tortures the Hydra guy, tells him to go to hell, and he finds out he gets the red bolt from the guy. He gets what he needs. And then the Avengers discuss it with the Shark. He feels guilty of his role creating Ultron, and he shows them the picture of the guy that died. While we were kicking ass, he was dying. He had a whole full life ahead of him. That we ruined that, and they talk and they disagree. Even Rhodey and Wilson are arguing over it, and he's like, "Steve, that's just incompetent thinking." You know, Steve says that sometimes we can't control what happens. Sometimes we can't say we can just try to save everybody, but we can't save everybody. But we shouldn't be controlled. Because the Avengers was created to help people, was created to do the right thing. But as they talk about that, distributed Rogers thinks that they don't need to be infiltrated, that the Avengers should remain privately, that they're doing the right thing to help people. He's like, "Well, Tony, that was your choice to stop the Ten Rings and stop selling weapons. That was your choice. You know, can't force this on us." But during the debate, though, Steve gets called that Peggy has died. Best thing that we see Emily Van Camp again. She's gorgeous as well. Find out that she, of course, she's the niece of Peggy. And I do see this, even though I don't like Haley Atwell's character, I'm care for the funeral, but I do feel sorry. You feel sorry for Steve, and he gets a visit, and he says from Natasha, "It's like I'm not gonna sign that paper. I just don't agree with it." You know, they give each other a hug as she's there, just to comfort him as a friend. Yeah, and he walks Emily Van Sharon back to her home, her apartment. They have a little moment. You can tell there's sparks between them that they really like each other. Well, Peggy's a great niece. Sorry. Wanda finds herself invited to the facility by Vision. They're trying to, get an instant happen, so they're not gonna allow her to go anywhere. And she does listen to Vision though. And then you have Vision, where you have the signing of the accords to take place, where T'Chaka of Wakanda and his son T'Challa are there too. Speaking that they love each other, and well, they don't love each other. They're just talking. They meet Natasha Romanoff, and she's just there as a diplomat for the Avengers. Apologizing for the events that happened, and then talking about them getting along. Eventually, King T'Chaka Wakanda gets killed in a terrorist bombing, and even though T'Challa tries to save his father, doesn't happen. His father dies, gets killed, and he's crying over his body, and that was a real sad moment, really sad moment in that film. And there's security cameras that reveal Bucky as the culprit, and T'Challa vows revenge, and there's like, "You shouldn't go this way. You let the law head." Is like, "No, I'm gonna kill him myself." And she gets a call from Steve, and Steve saying that, "Just stay out of this one. Just stay out of it, Cap. Stay out of it, Steve." He's like, "You say you're gonna arrest me?" He's like, "No, I won't do that, but you need to stay out of it." He's like, and he talks secretly, just hiding, talking to Sharon Carter and Sharon and Sam, saying that they're going to do something about it. They go behind Ross's back and bring in Mars themselves. Finally, tip off by Carter. Bucky is just in hiding. He's got somebody who recognizes him and runs, and he sees his paper. He's like, I gotta run. And Steve, his Captain America suit, goes to his goes to Bucky's house. I mean apartment. And he's like, you know me? He's like, you're Steve, right? He's still. It's just been a while because that thing in his brain that they messed with. It's taken him a while to come back to be Bucky. He's still so much so he's like, Bucky, this isn't happening in a fight. He's like, it always is a fight. They fight, and he's like, you have to kill these guys. And he even pushes Steve a bit. Just grab his bag and get out of there. And like the jumps are doing. And he's like, come on, man, which I thought was funny. And Steve is trying to save these cops from getting hurt. Meanwhile, as Bucky gets away, he jumps to the next across to the next building, and then this way you see Black Panther and him fight a bit, and they don't know who he is. And I like it when Bucky, they're just running really fast, and Bucky grabs the bike, which I thought was a cool scene. That Charlotte's following, and Cap tries to shake him off on his in a truck in SUV, but Cap can't do it. Sam Wilson, he jumps on Sam Wilson, and he's determined to get him. And Black Panther's a badass in this movie. He's very fast, very quick, But they get pulled over by the cops. War Machine shows up and says, "Your congratulations, Cap. You're a criminal now." And T'Challa, Black Panther takes off his mask, and it's T'Challa. And they said, "Why are you dressed up like a bird? You know what I mean? Like not like a bird, like a cat." He's like, Wakanda. We've been doing that for a while. Vibranium, like King of Wakanda, which does that to protect their city, protect Wakanda. You know, and him and Cap, I'm all, they just talk. He's like, tell me, Cap, warrior to warrior, how you gonna stop me from killing your friend? And Steve doesn't answer. He has to go talk to Steve. Yeah. Barnes is in captivity in Berlin. Rogers and Stark argue about the further. Rogers is convinced to sign until he learns of Wanda's in house arrest. He's like, sorry, Tony, if I see a situation's health, I can't just start to run. He's like, sometimes I want to punch you in your proper teeth. He's like, why'd you put Wanda to that? She's a child. I'm doing it for her own good sake. She could do something dangerous. I can see why Tony's doing it, but it is really house arrest. But I can see why. He just wants to stop from an event from happening. There's a power grid station outside the city. Zemo put it there. It explodes and shuts down electricity. He's the one. He's the doctor that's supposedly talking to him. So doing that, Bucky's like, "What's going on?" And he starts reading the book, the red book, to control him to get him onto the Winter Soldier. And he's like, "Stop, stop!" Trying to get out, but it's too late. And Bucky's like, "I will comply." You know, Bucky tries to get away. He has a little fight with Sharon and um Natasha Romanoff. They fight a bit, but he almost kills Romanoff to Tasha. So Tasha like, puts up a good fight. He's able to do jumps and moves and keep up Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier gets away, of course. You know, he almost kills Tony. Winter Soldier does almost. But Tony, who has like an Iron Man hand, in his armor suit, just the hand of it, really shoots a bullet there. But thankfully, it saves him from getting shot. But Winter Soldier nearly gets away until Rogers and Wilson intervene as Barnes is escaping. He tries to escape on the helicopter, but he's able to, grab it, And even though he's choking them, they end up in the water, and eventually Bucky, goes back in his right mind. Yeah, Zemo escapes too, and yeah, that's what I'm talking about though. Plain scene here. I'm surprised they kid his muscle. No, I'm just kidding. Barnes tells Rogers that Zemo is headed for the abandoned Hydra facility in Cyber, and he tells him about 5 other winners. So he's like, he's like, I'm Bucky. I'm Bucky. Your friend tells him about, I remember you used to wear newspapers on your shoes or whatever, and they have a laugh. He's like, but I want to need information from you, why you don't know. And he tells him that there's 5 other Winter Soldiers that were created. They did go crazy and kill some of the soldiers. This head general wanted to get out, so he had Bucky, Winter Soldier himself, get him out. Yeah, but Zemo was going to have it there for the abandoned facility. Zemo intends to release the other Winter Soldiers and unleash them on the world, as they think. Rogers ends up calling Clint Barton and freeing Wanda. Uh, he distracts Vision with this bomb fist. He goes, check it out. He's like, come on, Wanda, let's go. When he shows his trap, and Alicia accuse him for a bit, but Vision's able to get out. Vision, and he tries to fight Vision. Clint does, Hawkeye does, but he attacks him. Not attacks him, just chokes him out. Shows like, you know I can't beat you. He's like, no, but she can. She's like, Vision, let him go. She uses powers to weaken him and crush him into the entire wall, into the floor of the facility. And then, Falcon says who's Scott Lang. Alex is like, he's like, wow, Captain America. Thanks so much, Captain. So amazing to meet you. So amazing. Or like, wow, you're tough looking. He's like, what's up, Tick Man? You know, that was just like a little, introduction. He's like, okay, let's go do this. Yeah. He's like, I'm used to being an outlaw. And back at the Joint Center, Stark convinces Ross to give him 36 hours to use his comrades and some Romanoff and T'Challa and James Rhodes and Vision to help him out. Stark is able to travel to New York City and he meets Peter Parker. And again, we see Aunt May, Marissa Tomei, who is gorgeous, by the way, probably the most gorgeous of Aunt May. A little awkward, though, because Aunt May should not look hot, and that's where they did that. But he meets Tom Holland's like, oh, you're from the institution? Yeah, you're from the institution? And they talk and meet, and I swear, this suit he has is pretty lame. This suit, his first suit's like really lame, in my opinion. But they have a talk, he's like, well, come on, congratulations, Spider-Man's like, one more time, man. He's like, no, wavs his hand. He's like, okay, I'm with you. They try to, they're trying to flee, but only to reach Siberia before Simo. Rogers and his team assemble, where they hope to take a shop out of the country. But I remember I was like, well, it's funny how you meet people at the airport, don't you? They're like, this, what you're doing is wrong. You can't do this. This is illegal. Now I gotta bring you in. He's like, well, good luck with that. It's like, okay, I've had enough. On the roofs in Spider-Man. Whereas I was like, hey, everybody. And that's a cool suit. It reminds me of the 60s cartoon a bit. And eventually, on the shield is Ant-Man knocks him out. And the Avengers, they fight each other. It's a pretty cool fight. Ant-Man's like to blah blah blah. Blah. Like, you won't. And then he does his shrinking. Tries to get like in her arm. She's got her wristband that like electric dots or whatever electric little arrow she has, and then she shocks him with it. Spider-Man chases down uh, Winter Soldier, and Falcon's like, everybody's like, freaking gimmick these days. He's like, I don't know if you've ever been a fighting before this. Some music was talking about. He puts a pretty good fight, even when Bucky tries to punch him with the metal arm. He's like, dude, you got a metal arm? That's so cool. Even though Spider-Man talk, he's able to whip them real fast. So being a fighter, he's very quick. You know, uh, Spider-Man has his own super strength too. That's part of his abilities as well. Super strength. He's like, sorry guys, but I got a person start today and just a web. I was like, you couldn't have done that before. Oh, shut up. Yeah. Iron Man tries to go to Clint. He's like, why, too many golf balls or whatever hit you, and they never, hit Iron Man. He's like, you kept me in my room nearly. You know, he's like, for your own good. Yeah. And Black Panther fights Captain America a little bit. Uh, Ant Man eventually becomes Giant Man, which is cool when he grabs War Machine. War Machine was about to hit Captain America, but didn't work. And the heroes just, that send him over there. There's let's fight. They're not stopping. Let's go. You know, and Spider-Man fights Captain America. He was a pretty good fight with Captain America, but Cap, of course, is able to win. He's like, "You got guts, kid. Where you from?" He's like, "Queens, New York." He's like, "Brooklyn." Yeah, but pretty good fight scene there. Like when Ant-Man's up and Spider-Man comes up with the idea of like, if I strikes back, webs his legs. Iron Man and War Machine like do this punch on him, and he's like, oh, I can use my orange slices right now. And he's knocked out. He takes his mask off. Romanoff confronts them, but she can't bring herself to let them down, even though she was back to trust and Steve, of course. The rest of the Avengers get captured or arrested. Well, are knocked out. Clint gets knocked out. Wanda does too. I forget how. Well, because War Machine's able to use like this vibration on her. Vision's able to put up a good fight too. Vision tries to, say, Wanda, you're okay, and he tries to shoot the forehead with the milestone, like shoot it because a beam comes out, shoot it at Falcon, but he misses and hits Brody. Brody passes out, and Iron Man checks on him. Iron Man flies down and takes off the War Machine mask. Like, he's not dead, but he does, get paralyzed from it. And Falcon's like, "Oh my god!" So, well, Sam's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," and then he knocks him out. And this really does not make Iron Man happy. Very pissed off. Yeah, this is the last time I see Roanoke. She's just, you need to stop with your ego. Even though I know she couldn't do it. I don't think we've seen Natasha Romanoff after this, though. She does go into hiding after turning on them. Parker does get into the fight, but Grateful Stark sends him back home. Stark finds evidence that Barnes was framed by Zemo. Turns out the rest of the Avengers have been thrown into a top secret prison called the Raft. Though he didn't know what happens, like, you know, talks to Hawkeye. He's like, why would you do this? You have a family. He's like, you broke the law. I never forced you to do it. You did it. You know, at that point, he did break the law. You break the law, you end up in jail. I mean, that's just common sense way of thinking. Where you think you're going to end up if you break the law? He's able to talk to Sam Wilson. He's like, okay, I was wrong, but that's the first. You know, Rogers of are going. And he's like, we're going to help you, Bucky. That wasn't you. You know, we're going to get you help. They are followed Shalaba to Shala, who is probably planning revenge. Roger and Stark, rekindle their relationship, their friendship. They discover that the other Winchesters have been murdered. They get killed by Zemo. And the thing that we saw in the beginning of the movie, the scene in 1991 with the car and the soldier, that was Tony's parents. Zemo shows them a Stark security video from 1991, and it was the assassin who murdered them. And he goes punches his dad, and you know breaks Howard Stark's neck, and chokes Tony's mother, and he's almost ready to attack. I like the music of Cap sees that shot goes on, so he's like, Tony, it was them controlling you. It was him. He's like, don't bullshit me, Roger. Did you really know that he did this? Did you know all along? He's like, even though he thinks he was sparing him, I do think it was wrong for Cap to not tell him. And I don't blame him for being pissed. It was really wrong for him to. I know he didn't want to tell him from that pain, but still, you made the situation worse by not telling him. It was Sam super soldier serum from the car, and this is Raging Starks, and he punches Captain America, starts attacking Bucky. Cap tries to help him, but he's able to, you know, push Cap back. You know, able to use equipment. You could say he does have a bit of a fight, but I think Iron Man would have had a winning chance. Oh, sorry, not trying to say chest or anything. That's weird. Not that kind of video. But anyway, they fight a bit more. They get up top of the roof where he's like, because he knows Tony won't stop, and it is emotional to see them fight. But that was Emo's plan: is his family got killed, and he was so hell bent on getting revenge. Instead of he can't destroy them, he tries to get them from Sean, which it works. T'Challa's there. T'Challa's like, you just want to see them destroy each other. Like, he's like, vengeance has consumed you. It's consumed them as well. Iron Man, I won't let it consume me anymore. So he puts his claws up, and Zemo's gonna shoot himself. He's like, nope, the world still needs you. You know, you know, whereas Captain America and them fight. They get up to the roof. He does injure part of a boot side, part of his target system, but he's like, "I'm mine." He eyes it, shoots it. I was like, "Do you remember killing my parents? Do you remember?" He's like, "I remember all of them." But it's a good fight. At first, Iron Man, Captain America is like able to get a rope and choke an Iron Man's neck. But Iron Man, I like the scene where he shoots Captain America's shield from him, and they end up down, like kind of down in the area. This is where you have that one scene, the shoot, and him and Iron Man, Captain America and Iron Man are fighting. He nearly kills Bucky Barnes. Bucky tries to get the arc reactor out of his suit, try to disable the suit, but he's able to shoot it at him and it shoots Bucky's arm off. Bucky's nearly halfway passed out, nearly dead himself. Cap is tired, and Cap says his line, Iron Man says his line like, "Stand down." Final warning. And I was like, "I can do this all day." Yeah, Cap fights him a bit, but Iron Man's able to eventually kick his ass, and Iron Man comes close to almost killing him, almost. But yeah, but uh, his name Bucky. Bucky grabs Iron Man's leg, and Iron Man like kicks him, but and as he tries to fall away, Cap grabs him, keeps him on the ground, starts beating him on the ground, hits him with a shield, and hits the shield on the reactor of his suit, shuts his suit down. Doesn't kill Tony, but they're all bloodied up and they're all tired from the fight. Nobody really won here. It was just really sad to watch because they have been friends and heroes for over 3 years and done a lot together. Well, no, they've been heroes and good friends. It's almost sad to see this. It was almost really emotional to watch. You know, we did get to experience that. We in Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice, the fight was forced. I will say that I do think the fight was good, but the problem with it is it just was a short-lived fight, and it's so funny by Martha, Martha. I say Martha. It just it's just a messy of a story. It just didn't have an impact. So I'm trying to say, Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice didn't have an impact, and the fight between Batman and Superman held no meaning because they're meeting for each other for the first time in a messy story. And Wonder Woman's there. It's just too much of a movie in that film. Yeah, this worked. This was emotional to watch, and then when Steve walks away and Cap. I mean, Tony says, you don't deserve to wear the shoe. My father made that. That belongs to me. He's like, fine. He's like, throws it down, and that was an emotional moment to see their friendship fall apart. Yeah, and he leaves with Barnes. Uh, Zemo hints that while he may be in prison, his grandpa wasn't as much of the foe as Ross suggests it was. None of the Avengers may now be fractured. Sharpie was in a frame for rods to help him regain the use of his legs. I guess after he was in good because where Steve went, Steve took off. Yeah. Even though I think he has a ton of other Iron Man suits, but blew him up in Iron Man 3. But Rogers leaves him a letter, and Rogers apologizes for everything that happened, and for not telling him the truth about his parents, as well as not knowing that regretting he cannot accept the Accords. Tells her that he knows that day will come when the team will need him, and someone like once again, and that day Rogers and his team will always be there. Yeah, and I think somewhat they're still matched up, but I think Tony understood and ignores what Ross says. And then months later, Barnes and Rogers at the end credits, they're in Wakanda with T'Challa. Barnes chooses to undergo this cryosthetics. His brain is gonna be removed from successfully. Roger warns T'Challa that the governments of the world will come to Wakanda if they find out Barnes is there. T'Challa dares them. She's like, let them try. Shortly after that, you have Parker potentially have injuries of a battle when Aunt May approaches. He sees this holograph that start programming to web, which is really cool. And that's the end of Captain America: Civil War. Yeah, I know. Let me read some quotes. This job, we try to save as many people as we can. Sometimes that doesn't mean everybody, but if we can't find a way to live with that, then the next time maybe nobody gets saved. He's like, Tony, I'm glad you're back at the compound. I don't like that you rattling around a mansion by yourself. We all need family. The Avengers are yours. Maybe more so than mine. I've been on my own since I was 18. I never really fit anywhere, even in the army. My faith, my faith's in people, I guess. I mean individuals. And I'm happy to say that for the most part, they haven't let me down, which is why I let them down either. Looks can be replaced, but maybe they shouldn't. I know I hurt you, Tony. I guess I thought by not telling you about your parents, but I can see now that I was really sparing myself. And I'm sorry. Hopefully, one day you can understand. I wish we were on the accords. I really do. I know you're doing what you believe in. That's all anybody else can do. That's all any of us should do. So no matter what, promise you, if you need us, if you need me, I'll be there. Oh, there's also a scene where Sharon Carter helps them and her Steve give a kiss. You know, they kiss. I liked it when Bucky and Wilson like that was hilarious. I thought. Tony Stark, who's putting a coffee ground at the disposal after running a bed and breakfast for a biker gang? Oh, that's Charles Spencer, by the way. He's a great kid, computer engineering degree. He had a 4 level GN Intel plan for the fall. But first, he wanted to put a few miles on the assault before he parked it behind a desk. See the world, maybe you service. Charlie didn't want to go to Vegas or Fort Lauderdale, which is what I would do. He didn't go to Paris, which sounds fun. He decided to spend his summer building sensible housing for the poor. Guess where Sokovia? He wanted to make a difference, I suppose. I mean, we won't because we started building on him while we were kicking ass. There's no decision making process here. We need to be put in check. Whatever that takes, I'm game. If we can't accept limitations, we're boundless. We're no better than the bad guys. Tony, someone dies on your watch. You don't give up. Who said we're giving up? We are if we're not responsible for our actions. Taking responsibility for our actions. This document just shifts the blame. Sorry, Steve. That is dangerously arrogant. You see, this is the United Nations we're talking about. It's not the World Security Council. It's not SHIELD. It's not Hydra. No, but it's run by people with agendas, and agendas change. That's good. That's why I'm here. When I realized that my weapons were capable of the wrong hands, I shut it down and stopped manufacturing them. Tony, you chose to do that. If we sign these, we surrender our right to choose. If this panel sends us somewhere we don't think we should go, what if there's somewhere we need to go and they don't let us? We may not be perfect, but we'll satisfy our own. If we don't do this now, it's going to be done to us later. That's a fact that won't be pretty. So you like cats, Sam. What, dude, you dress up like a cat and you don't want to know more? Excuse me, Bram. The Black Panther has been the protector of Wakanda for generations. A man will pass from warrior to warrior. And not because your friend murdered my father, I also wear the mantle of the king. I ask you, as both the warrior and king, how long do you think you can keep your friend safe from me? Alright, I'm running out of patience. Under Bruce! Nice job, kid. Thanks. Well, I gotta stuck the landing a little better. It's just that it's a nice new suit. Wait, it's nothing. Mister, it's perfect. Thank you. Yeah, we really don't need to start a conversation. Okay. Captain, big fan of Spider-Man. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Just, hey everyone, good job. Hey guys, you ever see that movie, the real movie? Pressure Spider? Jesus, Tony, how old is this guy? I don't know. I didn't carve and date him. He's on the young side. You know that part with the walking on the snow planet with the walking thingies? Maybe the kids onto something. Hi now, Tony, go high. Yeah, that was awesome. Did you know? I didn't know it was him. Don't bullshit me, Roger. Did you know? Yes. Stay down finally, warning. I can't do this all day. I can do this all day. I almost killed the wrong man. Probably an innocent one. You know, if they find out, they'll come for him. Let them try. Alright, anyway. Now let me get my. That was some course I was reading. Now let me get my final opinion on the film. I'm very close to being done. I'm sorry. I know you guys might get aggravated. Sorry. So anyway, Captain America: Civil War. This movie is great. I loved it. It's a really good film. I love how this is the 13th film in the MCU. I thought the story was really good. I like that they're pitted against each other. I like how they went the storyline. It was a perfect time because again, Marvel set it up. They introduced Iron Man first, then Captain America. They introduced their characters one by one. I like how they brought Black Panther in here. Ant-Man, the ensemble cast was great. I love, Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther. He did a fantastic job. It's so sad that he's gone now because he was a great actor in my opinion. I thought he did a fantastic job. This movie did deserve make millions. Why? Because it's entertaining. It's very fun to watch. It has a really good story. Yeah, it's like whose side are you on? Iron Man, Captain America. I can get Iron Man's point about being put in check, but I do get Captain America. That Steve's point is that they do have a right to choose, and that the government should choose for them. That they might have these abilities, but they are heroes, and they do it for the right cause. You know, and Cap does have right. Someone dies, you just don't give up. And sometimes they can't control these things happening. Sometimes, yeah. And Age of Ultron, quite a people died, I'm sure, but the Avengers, not gods. Well, Thor, but still, they can't save everyone. You know, I think Tony was doing that. Yeah, I get what Cap's doing. He's just trying to help his friend, trying to help Buggy, just trying to help his best friend who, you know, trying to help him. And maybe I can somewhat, understand Iron Man's point of view as well. That breaking the law is not a good thing to do. I get it that Steve did it for the right reasons, but still, it's still not good to break the law though. It's very conflicted. Choosing on which side you want to be on. But I do. The only time I'm really on Iron Man's side though is at the end. I do think it was a douchebag move for Cap not to tell him about his parents, being killed and that he knew. I'm like, he might have been heartbroken about it, but still, Iron Man had every right to beat his ass. I don't care what nobody says. I think Iron Man was the baddest in that fight. Yeah, the only reason Captain America got lucky is because freaking Bucky grabbed his leg and distracted him. He was able to grab him. That's the only reason. He was getting his ass kicked. If Cap shot him really hard, if Iron Man blasted him really hard, the blasters out of his hands, from his Iron Man suit, Cap would have probably been knocked out. Yeah, but anyway, the story was good. I like how it's divided. That the Avengers are being kept in check, even though they're doing the right thing. It is political a bit with Captain America. You know, and I like how it pits them against each other where they have a disagreement. Even heroes disagree sometimes. But it's sad to see them fight, though, to fight each other, to be against each other, and that this tears up the Avengers, and to see Tony and Steve, to see them fight, to see Iron Man, Captain America fight. That was an emotional scene. You've seen them fight. It it had an impact. You know, you got to experience a real fight between them, and why Iron Man was mad. It was a good reason. It wasn't set up. Well, Zemo sets it up, but still, it felt emotional to watch. I didn't feel that with Batman vs. Superman Dawn Justice. That felt completely rushed. This had a good story. The ensemble cast: Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Sebastian Anthony Mackie, the late Chadwick Boseman, Paul Bettany. The entire cast in here is really good. Yeah, I thought they all did a good job. I thought the Russo brothers do a great job directing. They need to make a Batman or Superman movie. I think they would do awesome at it. Yes, please give them that job. And Christopher Mark and Steve McFly, they are good writers. And cinematography is nice though. I love the way the look of the movie is. The editing, I do get it that Captain America Super Soldiers was going to be really fast, but some of the editing I did have problems with. I can forgive it in the Winter Soldier because Winter Soldier had awesome action in it, but in this, sometimes the editing is a bit, well, I'm doing that. The editing is a bit shaky a lot, and I'm like, could you look, the editing, Matthew Schmidt or Jeffrey Ward, whoever did the editing here, you go, I need to keep the camera still. I'm not saying that it's completely bad. The scene where Bucky's escaping the facility and him and Steve fight when he's in the mind of the Winter Soldier after Zemo reads the book. Yeah, pretty good fight though when he pushes him down the elevator shaft. It does have some good action there. I'm not complaining. It's just some scenes at the beginning, the editing sometimes is a little choppy for me. And Zemo, was not interesting villain, but the film for 2 hours long, it didn't feel like it. It felt like it went by a pretty good pace. It's got an interesting story. You got good action in there. The action is good. The special effects, CGI is really good. You know, Black Panther, his suit looked really cool in the film. Yeah, his suit looked awesome. The whole Spider-Man suit as well. But again, I could understand why people call him Iron Boy. I agree he is because I want to see Peter. I mean, there was moments where Tom was funny, but I still say Andrew is the funniest. At least Andrew and Toby Spider-Mans they came up with their own suits, and those suits were better. Just in my opinion, especially Amazing Spider-Man 2. That still is my favorite Spider-Man suit in the Spider-Man film. Well, my favorite Spidey suit on film. So I'm trying to say. Yeah, yeah. But the movie, the pacing is fine. Being over 2 hours 20 minutes, being 140 minutes long, it's a good movie. It's got a good story. You're conflicted on which side you're on. You know, but I can see why Tony got mad and enraged, and you can't really blame him. You know, yeah. But it's a good movie. It's entertaining. It's fun to watch. It's got a good story. It can be emotional at times. Yeah. Especially the Avengers Prime that was emotional, and it had an impact. You know. And again, Zemo. Why I didn't think Zemo was interesting or a memorable villain. He's not annoying like Jesse Eisenberg was. He doesn't have a hair or wig on. He's got good intention. His motivations are good. He's he's out for revenge and he's helping them getting even. I can understand his motivation. You know, Lex Luthor's motivations were completely backwards. Didn't make any sense. The only good thing they did for him was give him a good theme. But overall, that film was just annoying and sometimes ugly to look at with cinematography. Cinematography was a lot better. This was better than Batman vs Superman. Just it made more money for a good reason. Yeah. If DC James Gunn, you want to make good money, take your time with the characters. Take some time. Yes, Superman first, then make your Batman movie. I know we're gonna get mad at Batman, but if you make your version of Batman, do that. Just do it the right way. You know. Yeah. But the film did not feel over 2 hours to me. It didn't. It was good. I enjoyed the entire cast. It's a very entertaining movie. It's fun to watch. A good cast, a good story, good action, and gets emotion. It can get emotional at times too, especially the fight scene. It's just emotion to watch. It's emotional for me to watch because I hate to see them fight. And you feel the impact. Them turning against each other. Yeah, that's the thing is Marvel can know how to make you care for these characters. You know, they take their time. They don't rush or force it. That's why the MCU has grown to a big franchise because they took their time with movies. You know, I'm not saying every movie of theirs is perfect. This movie's not perfect. Like I said, some of the editing is choppy in some scenes, and Zemo's not the extra villain. And I still say Winter Soldier has a better story and is more amazing. The humor does work here though. The humor is funny as well, and the special effects. I mentioned that too being good. And I like how we got Black Panther and Spider Man. And this one, how they brought Paul Rudd back, that was awesome. And it was a fun movie to watch. So that's all I say about Captain America Civil War. One of the best Marvel movies, MCU movies out there, in my opinion, and Marvel movies too. I highly recommend it. And guys, so my rating for Captain America Civil War, I'm going to rate this film 4 to 5. So my rating for Captain America Civil War, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. My rating for this film is 4 to 5 stars. Tell me guys in the comments down below, what do you think of Captain America Civil War in your opinion? Let me know in the comments down below, whose side are you on, Iron Man or Captain America? And are you Team Cap or Team Iron Man? And who is your favorite character in the movie? Avenger in the film. Uh, I'm still, I'll probably say Spider Man in this movie. Yeah. But what do you think of this movie in your opinion? What is your favorite Captain America movie? Mine is The Winter Soldier. What do you think is the best Captain America movie in your opinion? To me, it's Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. And what are some of your favorite MCU movie or Marvel movies like in the early 2000s? So tell me guys in the comments down below. Tell me what you think about this film in your opinion. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And stay tuned for our next review. Hopefully two more tomorrow and two on Sunday and maybe one on Monday. And the next review is this is a review. This is the X-Men review. This is the I think third installment in the X-Men prequel trilogy. Let's see, it was X-Men First Class, then the X-Men Days of Future Past. Now this movie, this is a 2016 superhero film that is not a review, just the original review. I did see this film in theaters. Yes, this came out in May too, and May as well of 2016. This is the next review. My next review is going to be X-Men Apocalypse. Oh yay, I look forward to reviewing this movie. But X-Men Apocalypse is next, so stay tuned for this review. I remember not being a fan of this movie, so I don't know how I feel about it. Again, I hated X-Men First Class. I don't suspect to like. I'm not expecting to like this movie or Dark Phoenix. I know I'm not gonna like Dark Phoenix. I doubt I'll like this. But X-Men Apocalypse, that's next. This is next. Yeah, but X-Men Apocalypse is next, so stay tuned for that tomorrow, or if I do it tomorrow. But anyway, the next review will be X-Men Apocalypse, so stay tuned for that. Or rant. I don't know yet, but Captain America: Civil War. Again, my rating for this film is 4 to 5 stars, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this film in your opinion? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you think of it in your opinion? Tell me what you think of it. Comments down below. And stay tuned for the next superhero review, 2016 superhero review, that is X-Men Apocalypse. Now, I did review Batman the Killing Joke, Batman Unlimited Max vs. Munis, and Batman Return of the Cape Crusaders. Maybe I'll share those reviews tonight on here. Yeah. So, those are 2016 movies that came out. They're 2016 films. They just came out in different months. But I did review them, and I will share them as well. Shit, I probably already did, yeah. They're my Batman marathon on my new channel here. Yes, I did add those in. Yeah. You can watch those, but don't subscribe to the channel. But you're welcome to watch those videos if you want to know my thoughts on other 2016 superhero films that came out in the year 2016. But anyway, guys, my rating for Captain America: Civil War is 4 to 5 stars and a thumbs up. Tell me what you think about this movie in the comments down below, guys. Once again, stay tuned for my review for X-Men Apocalypse coming next. So, thanks for watching. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.